Hello everybody, welcome to the special video. I just want to make as a reaction to the Mr. Trump releasing this tweet, which I passed for you on the screen, because I can see the markets reacting violently to this, and this is classic. Like for a hundredth of time, 10th time or so that Trump has done this, I am really surprised that the markets are again taking this, believing this. I do not think that the war is over at all. And actually, I do not even think there is going to be any negotiations at all. If you recall, if you've read about it, the war basically started with the US, with Mr. Trump basically telling to the Iran through his or with his allies, which was the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, basically all the other countries around. Basically, they said to Iran that let's negotiate, and if you agree to these terms, then there will be no war. So basically, the Iran, all of the leaders gathered in one building to discuss this and to negotiate, and then some kind of a science fiction weapon hit and basically killed them all, and that was the start of the war. So the US has never intended to do any negotiations with Iran ever, and the US still is not interested, and I would even say that Iran is not interested anymore. I think that we are past that. I think the lines has been crossed, and I think that there is no going back. I think there will never be really a negotiation. So all of this is just a show to me. And however, this is probably or could make a relief bounce to the markets, and that's something like what's happening, and also a relief dump for the oil. Also, natural gas is dumping, although that has never been really high yet. I bought the future calls for the natural gas as well. Let's see how that goes. And I just want to make this video just to basically assert my very firm view that this is nothing but basically a strategy to buy a little bit of the time to prepare the troops for the invasion, although that's another topic. I don't want to discuss that, but I just think this is basically, to me, I'm having a flashback like when I was inauguration. Basically, I made a video at the exactly inauguration, and I sold majority cash from all my cryptos. I didn't do stocks back then, even not at all, and I was just doing crypto, and I was $180 ish from the top back then. Well, actually, I have the Bitcoin chart open, so I was selling 109,000, and the top, so you can see that the top of that day was 109,111, 112. I was literally less than $200 from the top. So that was a world class, one of the best calls I've had in my life, and one of the best calls in the internet in the world. And you could have seen that on this channel, basically. Of course, for altcoins it didn't apply because altcoins did their own thing. Like most of them have already peaked in December 2024, but let's not get into that. Just simply for Bitcoin, this was a world-class call to sell that, and then after that we had for Bitcoin 31% correction. So and I'm not saying that the inauguration is right now this tweet, but I think that maybe between now and 2 weeks, so I would give it up to 2 weeks and we will be topping. So everything that is pumping will be topping before 2 weeks is over, and I think that it's quite likely that we're gonna go then lower. So first of all, it's all the cryptos. So I am all basically, you can see my fractal here on the screen. So if we go over 75,000 where we were in mid-March, if we go over that, basically I'm liquidating finally liquidating all the crypto that I bought. Even the last, I was like waiting for so long. I really missed to sell my cryptos here, but I did buy puts, and they completely covered the collapse, because I saw these puts. First, I started selling with 300% gain, and the very last I sold with 1000% gain. I did it also publicly on X. You can find me there. Also, Ethereum is beautifully pumping. I still have a little bit left, if we get to this line, this is the big trend line. I know we have so many. I have so many lines here. Maybe let me try a different chart. Okay, I have it here as well. This is the weekly trend line. That's very important. That's from the COVID, basically bottom. The past cycle, it was a support, and basically we lost it, and we are yet to retest it back. So if we see this, I'm going to be adding to my puts to Ethereum, and selling whatever I have left. Then what else is there to talk about? So the oil, I finally initiated my long on oil. I basically I started longing below 90, although this might be a little bit too soon, and probably and the oil is going to, let's see if I'm of course right, and then if this is going to be within the 2 weeks time, then we can still see some downside. We can still see some downside for oil, but then I will basically add to oil, or at least that is the plan. Then what else is basically reacting strong? Of course, my balance is now going down. It's so funny what is the difference between my balance in the morning and now. It's actually quite alarming to have to say, because all of these are my shorts, and basically look at, I have lost tremendous amount of profits in this announcement. But again, because of the nature of this pumping, I am actually not as alarmed as I would be usually, because this is basically the markets reacting to just Trump's tweets, and we've seen this before, and we've seen how this ends. What else? I'm gonna be basically selling. Well, also basically all of this is, to me, this is the chance to look for shorts as well. Like if we would get, depends on the nature of how this is gonna go, how high this is gonna go, because I know I have lots of lines here, but some relief bounce is really due, or was due, and I could even argue with you that perhaps this red line maybe, and especially this is the trend line from the weekly tops. I'm not sure if I should, if I draw this correctly. I basically follow, actually, yeah, I think pretty much yes. So if we would basically reach this trend line, so if the SPY would go within the next 2 weeks to about 687, well, that is where I would go short. So this is all for me. I just want to let you know that this is no brainer to me. Like what I see happening, this is the same pattern, and this is to me just like an opportunity to find. Well, let me start with the Bitcoin chart that I started with. This is for me just to look for shorts again, to close longs, those longs that I have, if they're going to bounce nicely, especially stuff like the mineral exploration companies, I'm going to close them basically, and look for shorts, and long oil and energies. The natural gas, that's the last thing we can check together right now. So the natural gas looks like this. So it wasn't pumped at all. Also, there are some M's, so it was to be expected. It was going to go like here, but I think that around this bottom where we are, so we are at $2.9. So around the bottom, I think that's where we can find a footing, and then some. Let's see what happens with energies again in April and May.